Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So I wanted to do a little midday market recap here. Looks like we're sustaining a already pretty sustained rally over the last month or so, which is continuing. And there's talk of a rate cut possibly coming in March, but it looks like the market is actually baking in rates staying the same, which is still propping it up. So we can only imagine how rate cuts would actually uh, really heat up the market. But we'll see. It may or may not happen. But there is an article I was reading talking about March rate cuts. So let's go in and let's have a little midday market recap. And I want to go over again uh, before we close out the year how much of a gain we can squeeze out, for the rest of 2023 and all of our YieldMax funds. So with 16 days to go, T minus 16, um, we could still, have we can still basically pad our gains in our yield max funds with 16 days to go. So there's still, there's still some runway left for some more gains. So let me share Yahoo Finance here, and let's see. Okay, so in the Dow, we're up 42.8. The Nasdaq, we're rolling again. Nasdaq's pumping 72. I mean, the Nasdaq's just on a tear, an absolute tear. The Russell is down 6, and the S&P is up 3.96. So that's pretty good. And then as far as now this is what I want to look at next, but actually this is good because I can just look off to the side here because all of our favorites. So Tesla is up almost $2 today. But TSLY is actually outperforming percentage-wise. TSLY is up 0.93%, whereas Tesla's only up 0.82%. So once again, we're outperforming. So great job to Jay and team. If we could keep either on pace with Tesla and outperform while getting these dividends, it would be incredible. And like I said, I've seen them sustain this for like more than a month. If we go back to like from the March to like July timeframe, TSLY was actually outperforming Tesla for a sustained period of time. So if they could just get to where they sustain that, they could have one of the best ETF fund families like in history. If they could manage to outperform the underlying and pay these lofty dividends, you'll have like all the money flowing into them. Anyway, Ethereum is down, but I know we don't care about crypto. Coinbase is down today. And so the good thing, so CONY is outperforming Coinbase as well, because percentage-wise, Coinbase is down 2.38%, whereas CONY is only down 1.16. So that's a good sign. So, and CONY's almost back to where it was actually before this little bit of a downturn here today. CONY was almost back to where it was before the dividend was paid out. So let's look at that again. And I'm not going to go too long today. So, yeah, I just want to show you all. Well, I can do it here, obviously, but let's see. So when the dividend was paid over the last month, so we were here. So we were look at this. So we were at like 26.19 when the dividend was announced. Before this little bit of a downturn, we were almost back to where the dividend was. So we've already almost made up for the dividend before this little 28-cent drop today. So that's really incredible performance here. For those of you that are interested in this, here's my technical indicators here. I have Bollinger Bands and RSI, and I don't presume to know what any of this is. I just randomly clicked it when I added indicators. Just kidding. These are two of the ones I use. But I should actually add more. Let's see. Which one should we just randomly pick? MACD. How about MACD? Okay. So it looks like, if I were to just briefly analyze this, it looks like we're coming into. Here's what confuses me about technical analysis. This is what drives me nuts. So, based on this, I would actually read this as when I'm reading the MACD, I would read this as a buy signal. But look how much we've run up. You see? So uh, you're buying in. It was 1978 here, and then it was over $26 here, and it pulled back a little bit because of the dividend. And I know some people say you can't really do technical analysis on these funds, but does anyone else agree with me that okay, so the fund is $6 higher than it was, but we have a buy signal. Like, isn't that kind of confusing? Let me point the pencil. Is it more effective if I point the pencil at the camera or if I stick it up my nose? Someone suggested that. I wouldn't do that. I just wanted to poll the audience. Anyway, let's see if we have any comments here. Wow, 16 of you on. Oh, Clement Yap is on here, yapping away again. Welcome. Good afternoon. Glad to have you on. See, you all are starting to get used to the coach being on earlier. But like I said, next week that may change. We will see for sure. So, oh, and look here, we have a nice recap of our dividend percentages here: 65.22% AMDY, CONY, TSLY, all pretty good, I have to say. So anyway, so that was CONY. Let's look at the rest of them here. Oh shoot, I went back. I'm clicking around too much here. I want to go back to this. Okay, so we looked at TSLY and CONY. We didn't quite look at SQY yet. Let's go back to recently viewed here. I had it up on like one perfect screen here. JEPY and QQQY. QQQY is up 0.04. JEPY is down 0.01. And then SQY is actually underperforming the underlying. So Square or Block, I keep calling it Square, but it's really Block. I like the one how they named the Facebook one, by the way, the FBY, when it's really meta stock. The FB ticker symbol hasn't been used in like well over a year. So yeah, Square stock is well, we've ripped another like $5 since the last time we were really focused on it. I mean, almost $75. That's really it's on an incredible run. It's about to double from where it was at the Halloween lows. Um, so we're down only 0.9% there, but we're down 0.38% in the SQY. So not quite a perfect performance from Jay's team, but overall, of our favorite ones, two out of the three are outperforming the underlying. So that's really good. Okay, now for the article. So March markets are pricing in a March rate cut, but not everyone is buying it. Kind of pun intended there. Um, By the way, so look at that. I need to shop around. I need to call Frontier Fios because my Fios I'm paying like 69, haha, $69. Um, and it should be like 39. So I need to see that ad there. I should be paying like half the price. Let's see. Okay. The Fed pivot has markets increasingly expecting rate cuts to begin earlier in 2024. Increasingly expecting rates cuts to begin earlier in 2024. That's interesting. That's after we just stayed flat. These cuts are also anticipated to be much deeper than what the Federal Reserve forecasts for next year. Hmm. As of Thursday, markets have priced in a roughly 80% chance of the first rate cut coming in March, per the CME Fed Watch tool. I was going to say per the 8 ball, but we'll go with the CME Fed Watch tool because it's in the article. This falls in line with the latest forecast from Goldman Sachs, which in a week's time shifted its expectations for rate cuts from the fourth quarter of 2024 to March. Interesting. So it's forecasting an accelerated timeline for interest rate cuts. So that's part of the rally as well. Goldman cited the Fed's commentary that inflation will fall faster than previously anticipated. Well, we know that. Not only is it going to fall so fast, but it's going to be like non existent. Although I'd like to know what we're going to do about all these price increases over the last 2 years, because that'll just be like, oh, it is what it is. You know, we cut inflation, but anyway, I don't want to get on a rant there. I need someone to shut me up sometimes, like a channel assistant. I still need a free intern, by the way. Like I said, it would look great on a resume, and it's a free internship, but there's a lot of perks that come for it. You know, learning from a brilliant financial mind, such as the coach. You know, it'd look great on a resume. Anyway, that's kind of an old joke because one of our live streams with Jay, we had someone join and they asked him for a job, basically, or they asked him for an internship. And I don't really think Jay hires. I mean, obviously, you know, it would be something I would consider, but yeah, I don't really think. I think he has just really seasoned options traders that work for him. But anyway, I'll settle for having him on the podcast or on my channel. Let's see. In light of the faster return to target inflation, we now expect the FOMC to cut earlier and faster. We now forecast 3 consecutive 25 basis points cut in March, May, and June to reset the policy rate from a level that the FOMC will likely soon come to see as far offside. So that's good news. If we see cuts, the market's going to shoot up. Now, for those of you who don't know, because not everybody understands this, and I don't really understand why publications use like such fancy jargon. Like they could just really, I don't want to say dumb things down, but they could speak in more simple terms. So basis points, when you see 25 basis points, that's a quarter of a percent for anyone that doesn't know that, because I don't assume or I don't presume that everyone knows that. So 25 basis points means 0.25%. But most financial publications, they use basis points. So, financial audience typically knows that. But I just thought I would explain that since I'm such a nice guy. Up. Perks of working from home. Absolutely. There's a ton of perks from working from home. I don't know why the big CEOs are so against it. Have you done a review on TSLP yet and compared it to TSLY? Next video. Thank you for the reminder. That'll be coming hopefully this afternoon after I get back from lunch. I got to have a long lunch and drink since I'm off. And then I'll be even more proficient after drinks. So that's always good. That everything I do ties into the channel. Most everything I do anyway. So what is Mr. Clement yapping away about here? Let's see. After about a year, the general population started to understand these funds of how to approach them. Yeah, you're right. It's definitely getting phased in for sure. Game 808 says price appreciation is based on fund synthetic call put setup, right? If I remember from watching the interview with Jay, correct. But feel free if you need to brush up, always go back and watch again. That's always mutually helpful. I was confused on them, but understand them now due to all the information from you. Awesome. We'll see. You learned from the coach. Glad to hear that. That really makes my day for real. And now I love my Tesla funds since understanding the approach needed. I wonder how many of you all actually learned about these funds like from me. Because just so you all know, so I learned about these funds by being a YouTuber. Like if we go back to March, like mid-March, I had to go back to think about when I actually learned about YieldMax because it was from you all. So you all actually coached me on that. And then I realized what a following there was for it. And I said, I said, wow, uh, I feel like I hit the jackpot here. So then, for 6 months, it just ran, and then it slowed down a little bit. But since we had Jay back on, things really picked back up again. But there's definitely a huge audience for this. But it's kind of funny because it's like just things kind of really lined up, which is what I like about communities like this. Building a community, we all learn from each other. And now, yeah, you said now I love my Tesla funds. Yeah, that's great. Martin Me 29 says TSLP has buy call sell put at 215 and a sell call at 270. Okay. We need to review that too. So next video we'll do. All right, you all. Thank you all for tuning in. And I forgot to live stream on the Discord, but that's okay. None of you probably are going to join me anyway. Next video, I should be back this afternoon, and we are definitely overdue for a live stream on the, or not a, we don't live stream on the podcast. Well, we do, but we record and then we edit it later. Something that I don't do on this channel. So if you all haven't subscribed to the Brewing Great Returns podcast, and if you care to brew some great returns, with your time, with your money, with whatever, definitely subscribe to that podcast. That's my podcast with Andre and Blake, fastest growing podcast that I run. So thank you all again for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you all very soon. Take care for now.